Hi, everybody. My name is Dawn Drozd with Clear Vision Business Coaching. I am very excited to be here today with my friend, Renee Sanders. Renee is somebody that I met because she has been working with one of my clients for years, doing an incredible job with their digital marketing. And I had never met her. And finally, said to my client, I have got to meet Renee. She has done such a great job for you. And we did, and we hit it off, and she is amazing. And so I want everybody to know how talented she is. She has a really fabulous background. She's been in advertising for over 20 years. Funny, because you're only 21. So how did you do that? I don't know.
That's right. Thank you.
And she was with Yellow Pages first, and then she moved over to AT&T, where she actually helped to launch their digital advertising platform for AT&T, and that's quite an accomplishment. And then for the last 3 years, she has been with a company called 2060 Digital. They are a nationwide company, and Renee primarily works with clients that are here in Michigan. However, if you happen to be listening to this and you are out of state, she can also help you as well. The great thing about 2060 is that they also do all of their work here in the United States. So they create all the ads. She works with you on those. Everything is done in-house with 2060. Very professional organization. And again, I can tell you, she's done great things for my client. And so if you're looking at digital marketing, which you should be if you're a business owner, Renee should be the gal that you want to talk to. But for today, I'm going to be talking to her and asking her several questions so that you guys can pick up some great tips and ideas. So welcome, Renee. I'm so happy you're here today.
Wow. Thank you for that introduction. That was fabulous.
Oh.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here and excited to speak with you today, Dawn. I appreciate it. Thanks.
It's all true. It's all true. So, all right, wonderful. Well, I want to dive right in because there are probably 100 different ways that small business owners can advertise their business. And digital marketing is just one of those ways. So I thought maybe we could start with just having you briefly define what you see, what is digital marketing and how much importance should it play for small business owners in today's environment that we have for advertising and marketing companies?
Sure. It changes so often, and it's so hard for the average small business to keep track and understand where should I be investing my dollars? What's my budget? How do I divide that budget amongst all the different arenas that I can be found in? And when it comes to digital marketing in today's environment, which has changed so much from even 10 years ago or 20 years ago when I started, it can include many things. And what we focus on the most right now today is search engine marketing. So when we look at search engine optimization or pay-per-click advertising, display advertising comes into the picture as well. So you look at mobile advertising with display ads. Those are a big component for today's marketing industry, as well as social media. We all know how big social media has become, especially within the last year. The statistics change all the time as to how much time people spend on these different platforms. But those are, some of the many ways that people can utilize digital marketing today.
That makes sense. I know there's a bunch of them, and it probably makes sense to talk to an expert like you because you can help guide where and how much they should be in each of those things as well.
Absolutely. That's part of what I enjoy the most about my job is sitting down with my clients. Today's world, we utilize meetings like this more often than what we used to, but I enjoy really sitting down and digging in and asking those questions that bring out the answers that help me to develop the best campaign for the business and then monitor that campaign. The funny thing about digital marketing is that it's not a set it and forget it type of thing, right? Mm-hmm. We need to be on it all the time, which means that I need to be on all the time. My company needs to be on all the time. Whoever it is that you utilize for your digital marketing, they should be available to you to help you provide the information of what your campaign is doing that makes it work in an optimal performance.
Right. That makes total sense. Okay, great. Okay, so our next question. So how do I know what areas are best to advertise my business? It's a great segue, really. We're sort of touched on that. How do I know where the heck I should be advertising?
Understand your client base. Have a really good understanding of who your client is that you want to reach. Are they younger? Do they tend to be more of a social type of client that you're looking for? Do you see them being more of a social media user? Are they more of a print customer? Do you need to draw in, like, are you a senior citizen home? What is it that your business is doing? And what is your ideal client? A lot of emergency-based businesses need to advertise differently than maybe home services businesses do. Be consistent about your message. Make sure that your branding is consistent across all categories, whether it be in print, digital, social media, radio, TV, whatever it might be. Just have a really good understanding of that client and where they're coming to you from.
Yeah, all of those demographics. And then I would imagine some psychographics, or what makes them tick.
Right.
Like you said, are they more social or are they more business? I suppose you'd also start out with, am I a retail kind of a consumer, product, or am I a business product? And then all of those details, because I think a lot of business owners don't always dive into that of really defining their ideal client.
Sure.
And then where do we go find them? So,
and that's the best part about digital advertising. So it's highly targeted. We have more abilities now to target that client through the statistics that Google shares with us. We follow them. Nowadays you have to have, with privacy policies, you have to accept the cookies on a website. Well, those cookies are gathering data, right? So you're trying to grab that first party data at a minimum. You want first party data, but if you have to go with second or third party data as well, you can utilize that to target your demographic. And then you want to make sure that your geography is set appropriately as well. And with digital advertising, all that is available to you, right? There's no sense sometimes when you look at some forms of advertising, and I embrace all of them. I really am not here to say that I only believe digital advertising is the only way to go. I do believe it's the number one way to go, and I do believe it's a primary portion of your advertising budget. But if you want to utilize something like radio or TV, understand that sometimes those don't have the ability necessarily to target your audience based on your geography. Right. Just knowing that going in helps to set the appropriate campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to set your expectations too, to know that.
Sure.
So that's great. Excellent. Thanks. Okay. So this is a good one, because I know when I Google somebody, this is an important area. How do I get placed in the map section of the Google business page? And is it important to be there? And I already know the answer is yes, it is, because
yes.
You see that, you Google something, and if people aren't on the map, they seem to be further down in the search. So tell us a little bit about that. How do I get placed there?
I get that question every single day. I mean, there is not a day that doesn't go by that somebody is not calling me saying, I don't see myself here. How do I get there more often? What can I do? Oh, I was there yesterday. I want to be there every day. I want to be there. I'm not there tomorrow. What am I going to do? It changes all the time. Our job is to get you there as often as possible. I wish I could promise every client position every day within the maps, because we know that of the 3 primary ways to get found on Google, the maps is the one that people reach the most because of mobile. Okay, so mobile has changed the Google My Business platform. And when we speak Google My Business, basically we mean your business page. Okay, I refer to it a lot now as local SEO because it's changed so much from regular SEO, and to take SEO down a little bit further, search engine optimization. Okay, so getting your website or your business found within the organic or the middle of the page of Google. So we have the top of Google that shows the ads that people pay for, or commonly known as pay-per-click. And then we have the middle of Google that shows, which is maybe a thumb swipe down, depending on the number of ads at the top. So a thumb swipe possibly on your phone, that's where the maps will appear. And then optimization towards the bottom part. So people are always targeting those maps, getting my name in the maps. And it's key, if you're going to hire an agency or anybody to get you placed in the maps, it's key to make sure that they understand all the features that are available to you within the Google My Business platform. And there are many, and they've changed recently. So you want to make sure that all of that content is filled in. Reviews, my goodness, if you can get the reviews, please reach out and do everything you can to get your reviews placed within the Google My Business platform, and try and drive in as much content as you can through keywords, through website links, through everything that's there. Pictures, people don't always put their pictures there because maybe they don't like the photos that they have available of their business. Well, make it a priority and get those pictures uploaded. Here at 2060, we make sure that we look at that every month. We have campaigns available at different levels of spend to make it convenient for you and within your budget to get you within those maps as often as possible. And the performance of it is measurable, and it's tremendous for the return on your investment.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, because that's the first thing I noticed. Well, you see the pay-per-click. I was with somebody the other day and they said, I always ignore those. Like they ignored all the pay-per-click ones because they know it's pay-per-click. So instead they want more organic. So what do? Go down to the maps. And so, if you're paying somebody like you to just make sure that the content is all good, it's still got to be, I would think, more cost effective even than pay-per-click sometimes, depending on what you're trying to do.
Well, pay-per-click is the number one, I guess, directional. Okay, so it's where people are going to go. It's where most businesses will invest in pay-per-click. And I don't discount that. I think it's important, but you're always chasing a lead. You're always chasing that phone call based on your pay-per-click budget. And that budget can go away by within an hour, depending on the line of service, right? Sure. So it's just, with the Google My Business portion of your advertising, if we're pushing your name there more often, first of all, it's much, much more cost effective. It's very trackable. So I can tell you phone calls, searches, I can give you all the details that are available in a pay-per-click campaign and more. And it also used to be that when you would get listed within the Google My Business or the map section of the page, you could only claim your listing for the city that you were physically located in.
Right.
Here at 2060, again, part of our platform is that we can get you found in up to 5 cities and up to 5 lines of service. Okay. And that's how we start the campaign. And then we continually grow it from there.
So if your market is truly can encompass these other cities, you will also get listed there, because it might not matter if I can just go out and sell to more people. Okay, great.
Correct. It's really morphed into such a big beast that people weren't aware of before. And you know what, Don? You can do it yourself, right? You don't need to hire me, but many businesses, that's what they need us for. I mean, that's what we're here for. It gets a little dangerous. People they're not aware of what's available, and it changes all the time, right? So
that's the other thing.
They're like, oh man, I'm a plumber. I'm not a digital marketing agency. I'm a home services type guy that I'm not familiar with this. I'm a doctor. I'm a dentist. I don't know anything about what my page even looks like. I don't even know how to log into it. Yeah. And that's what we're here for. We offer that kind of support. And it's just, I won't even speak to a new business. I won't even speak to a new business if they don't have their business page properly set up, if they're not willing to spend the time that is needed to make sure that that's complete. Because any campaign that we build is building off of that page.
Yeah. It has gotten so much more complicated to market. I say that. I mean, I was in marketing 30 years ago. I know none of this stuff today. There's no way I could do this stuff. I'm not an expert at it. So it is critical. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. It's great information. How much does the effectiveness of my website change my advertising results? So if my website isn't effective, but I'm advertising people and trying to drive them there, how much does that, impact, I guess, the advertising results? And then as a follow-up question, is it important to update my website to be mobile and operate quickly? So we'll cover the first part first here. Yeah. How important is it that my website be up to date?
Equally as important as your business page.
Oh, wow.
So the website content on your page, the ability to search the site and get the information that you are looking for as a consumer. So I know as a consumer, if I can't find it within the first couple seconds, I don't have time for that. I'm moving on. I'm busy, and I'm doing it maybe at night, first thing in the morning. This is when I need to get all my shopping done, or my looking for home services or whatever I might need. I don't have time for that. Okay. I need to get to it now, and I want to get my response that I need today. I mean, this is just the unfortunate reality of today's world, right? We're all busy. So that website needs to act as your salesperson. That's your salesperson. That's your first shot at a consumer like me. I want to know, do you offer my service? How long is it going to take for me to schedule an appointment? Where's your phone number? I want it to stand right out at me, or I'm probably going to move on relatively quickly. So that speed of your website is important for me, the consumer, but equally more so, it's important for Google and search engines to recognize the site and to push it even into those maps. So we want to make sure that your website is loading right now. In today's world, Google's looking at about 3 seconds for a load speed, at least for the opening page. And that can change for the consumer depending on their internet connection, and then they recognize that as well. But there is a platform that we utilize to measure page speed, and we're always driving to improve that. So it used to be we would post videos and blogs and all of this fancy information, and websites would come with hundreds of pages, and that was fantastic, right? But now things have changed, and they're going to change again probably. But in today's world, we're looking for a quick load time, quick content. I don't need to look through hundreds of pages. I just want to know if you have what I'm looking for, and how quickly can I get it done, or can I get it purchased?
Yeah. Would you say that same holds true for businesses who sell to other businesses? Are the business consumer, we'll call them, I know it's an oxymoron, are they as impatient, do you think, as a consumer?
When you think about it, I feel that everybody is. I mean, I walk in on businesses, and I might meet with a client like yourself. I know you're busy. I know you have a million things going on. I know that you have another client coming in. I know that you're planning a wedding right now. I know that you are a busy person, and I would imagine, and after dealing with clients over the last 20 years, we're all the same. You know, I schedule appointments. I ask my clients to take that consideration in working with me. Please schedule an appointment. I expect that they want the same, and I try and stick to a time frame, and I do all of that because we're all just so darn busy,
right?
You know? So yeah, I do.
So I think I heard you say too that there's two things to consider. One is speed. So you've got pages have to load fast.
Yes.
And the second is content.
Yes.
The content should once again be aimed to your ideal client, and the information they need to get in touch with you or take a next step needs to be right there, front and center.
That's correct.
For them to be able to find, right? Okay.
Absolutely correct. Great. I know 20 years ago when we first started doing this and building websites, at least on my end, we would build out these custom websites that literally attorneys tend to have lots of pages on their website.
Oh, and they look beautiful.
They do, and they look beautiful. But when's the last time you looked at a website and really looked at 100 pages?
Right.
We just don't have the time for that. I mean, I might go through one, I might venture onto the second, maybe it directs me to the second or the third, but I just don't have time for that. And I know that speaking to many clients and consumers, that that's the way it's going. And that's what Google is looking for as well.
It's really quality, not quantity.
That's correct.
And it used to be quantity.
It used to be.
Yeah. So, but today it's more like, what can you say in 2 or 3 pages that will capture, again, your ideal client, your ideal target person, versus this, they have to go and build. So I know it's like an attorney, a legal office, even my own, I'm guilty of this. I have too many pages, as you and I both know, we've talked about this. It was a credibility builder. If I have all these pages and all this information, it will make people really trust me and really realize who we are. But it seems to me like that's where it's really important, again, to have good copywriting, somebody really good to help you design that website so that it does exactly what you need it to do.
Correct.
Great. How about the mobile side? Is mobile important?
Absolutely, more so than anything. More mobile, 85% right now. That's the numbers that they're showing. 85% of the users will do so on a mobile device.
Wow.
85%. That number is changing all the time. It's amazing to me how much the whole industry has changed. I mean, you know, years and years ago, I never thought I would leave a print media for digital because I didn't believe in digital. I thought, oh, that's kind of fun. That's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
This Google thing
A
is
little side
interesting,
thing.
Yeah, and MySpace was kind of fun. Who's heard of MySpace lately, right? I mean,
Yeah.
when's the last time you thought about it? I mean, it's just, Amazon. Whoever thought that we would be in this space right now? But it is what it is, and we have to embrace it. And we have to know that within probably the next 5 or 10 years, things are going to change again. And you have to be willing and open to the change if you want to stay in business today. I feel that it's integral. You have to be willing to change. We all know that. So
Absolutely. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for all that. All right.
good questions.
Good answers. Okay, let's see. I've been hearing about the Google page experience update. There was an update not long ago. And of course, as per usual, again, business owners are busy. We know the stuff changes all the time, so we may not have done anything about it. So I guess, what is it and how much of an impact is it having on those people that haven't done anything about it, maybe?
So the numbers are slowly coming in. It's taken a while. Google has been talking about this that I'm aware of for at least the last 2 years.
Okay.
And basically, it's just keeping the pages clean. And it's funny that you ask about this, because we have a local neighborhood page here, a Facebook page, and they're seeing the Google car come around and they're talking about it. Oh my gosh, the Google car is out there taking photos and they're mapping again. And so, so this is all part of their update, right? People are asking me, Renee, is this part of the update? I don't know. I think it is part of the update, but they've been talking about this update now for a couple years, and it's basically to keep the page clean, right? We need to make sure that everything that's working on Google is working to the best of its ability for the end user, because of all the reasons that we've talked about already. So what is it? It's an algorithm change, and it's looking for content. It's looking for ratings and reviews. It's looking for business pages and the things that we've just discussed to be completely met. And then it's going to use that information. And that's just some of it. There's some things that I'm not completely understood yet on, but I know that they're coming out and they're coming down the pike as they measure the results as to how they're going to continue with this algorithm. And all of that is going to help determine whether or not you get placed within the maps. So those are the things.
Oh, interesting. So
all those things.
You got to have all that stuff together, or you're not going to make it on the maps.
Yes.
So you not get served up. You could be on the 5th page of the Google search results, which, as you and I well know, doesn't do a thing. I mean, I can't remember the last time I got past maybe the second page.
Maybe the second page.
Yeah.
Right. It's unfortunate. It is. It's unfortunate, but it is what the world that we live in. It's the climate that we're in. So we have to do everything we can, again, to embrace it, be willing to make the changes, identify how to do it. Like I said, some of this stuff is free. Some of the things, if you have the time and you want to start doing the research, if you want me to come out and talk to somebody about it, I'm happy to do it. I'm a strategist. So that's what I do. But literally, some of it's free, some of it requires a fee. When you're looking at other agencies, or when you're looking for someone to assist with it, just do your diligence. Make sure you're not signing any long-term contracts for any of the service. I don't recommend something that's going to tie you in for 12 months, because things are going to change. Your business is going to change. Have the ability to target and go after your audience when you need to, maybe not when you, like some businesses right now, cement contractors right now in Michigan, a lot of them are overwhelmed. They don't need a pay-per-click program that they're billing out at for $2,000 a month or whatever it might be, right? Why run it when they can't even take any more jobs?
Right.
We know there's a shortage of help right now. Why spend all this money when you can't fulfill?
Right, when you can't get the work done that you've got.
So those are things that you might want to take into consideration. But when it comes to this page experience update, it's been talked about for a long time. It was long overdue, and it's to help clean up the page too. So some businesses—
When you say clean up the page, you mean the results, to make sure the results are really what the person hasn't really looking for. It's the results they want. Okay.
Right. So there's some businesses that may have opened up a business that wasn't necessarily valid. Some maybe some unscrupulous things that may have gone on that we need to get rid of. Right. And we're monitoring for all of that daily. Right. Okay. So it's important, and it's definitely working. The page experience update has been a big move for us here at 2060 as well at Google. So
interesting. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. How do I know if my advertising's working for me and bringing in a good return on investment? Because, I mean, again, remember I mentioned I was in marketing a million years ago.
Right.
Really, I mean, how did you hear about us?
Right.
I drove by, or whatever. You never got really great straight answers. I know with digital, it should be different, but how do you monitor whether or not it's working for your clients?
So here at 2060 Digital, we have a client dashboard that they can log into and access their information, and minute by minute they can see it.
Wow.
So there's very accurate, transparent reporting, and we are always making sure that we set the proper expectation for your budget and for what the services are that you're going to be signing on for. So that's one way. But really another way would be to log into your Google Analytics, and you have the back end of Google Analytics. And again, that's something that I can help you set up or identify how to use it.
Yeah.
And that will show you real-time results too. So I think that that's really helpful to see, and just make sure that your expectation is understood. Return on investment for an attorney might be, well, I invested $10,000, Renee, this month in pay-per-click. I should have gotten 1 or 2 cases out of that $10,000 investment, right? I mean, and these are just rough numbers. I'm just saying that. But for you, it might be, well, Renee, I invested $500 and I was really looking to get 50 clients from that $500. So let's talk about that expectation, because that's not.
You have to look at the average sale, your average sale, what the lifetime value of a client is.
Absolutely.
So clearly with an attorney, the fees are going to be much, much higher. So if you do that, okay, if I give you $1,000 and I get back, $2,000 in business,
Right.
whether or not I still wasn't very comfortable spending that $1,000. What are you, crazy? You got back $2,000.
Right.
You would take that deal all day long.
Yeah.
If I said, I'll give you $1 and you give me back $2, I'll take it all day long, right?
That's right.
We should all like that kind of return on investment.
We just need to have the right expectations. It needs to get discussed, and it should get discussed often. It should get discussed at the sign of setting up a campaign. Maybe every review of the campaign, you should be discussing this with your analyst at least quarterly, maybe monthly, whatever your time will allow. It should be something that's taking into consideration. And you should be looking at things like bounce rate, click-through rates. How many clicks did I get? If possible, how many phone calls did I get? Can you tell me, can you measure my conversions? Can you tell me what that equals to? So those are things, depending on the business, that we can most certainly just discuss and quantify for you.
Right. There is a lot on those Google Analytics reports to really dive into, and it is hard to know what's really important and what isn't important. Is bounce rate important? Is it not important? And I know it's different for each person. Some of them are more important than other things. But again, for the typical, and again, I'm kind of tuned into some of this stuff. I still find some of it to be confusing. So I think having an expert really to be able to boil it down and say, this is important, here's why. And oh, by the way, this is dollars and cents. I mean, I think that's really, really helpful. So cool. Okay. So we mentioned before that you are based here in Michigan.
Correct.
So you are local for people that want to work with you.
Yes.
Are you Google certified, a Google partner, any of that stuff? And does that really matter?
It most certainly matters. And the answer to that question, Dawn, is yes and no.
Okay. All right.
So yes, I've been through many Google certifications, but they change all the time. And what we do as a company is the developers and designers, they have to meet those requirements every year. So every time they come out with a new certification, our developers, designers, the ones that are building out the campaigns are doing that. As a sales rep, when I was hired, I went through it. I still have my certification now, but it may have changed. I haven't taken a sales exam in a while, but it's been a couple of years. So yes, but the designers, they are held to that all the time. And anybody that you're working with, they should be Google certified. We will, as a company, will only do campaigns and create specs based on Google direct guidelines. Okay. So we have to follow that. We won't go outside their guidelines. So
what's a Google partner?
A Google partner is somebody that's certified, and Google has said, hey, we agree with you and we trust that you will go out and sell our products and services for us. Okay. So we are a direct partner, a Google direct partner.
And I'm going to assume that Google is still the #1 search engine.
#1 search engine.
That is numbers they change.
It's like, I was just looking at it, it was like over 60 billion visits or something. It was, the numbers were outrageous. And I'm not one that totes a lot of statistics, because the statistics change all the time and they're geared, I skew them differently, but anyways.
Yeah, but they're still huge. So it's not like we can ignore Google.
No, you cannot. You cannot ignore it, unfortunately. No, you can't.
Excellent. Well, is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you want to add
No, I think you covered it all really well. I really like the way we talked about Google My Business, because it's just such a big beast right now, and it's so important for any business. I would hate to see anybody sign up for any type of digital advertising campaign without making sure that that is a secure position for them on the page. I feel very strongly about that.
Good. Excellent. Well, thanks, Renee. This has been
All right.
amazing, really good information. I know everyone will benefit. And I will absolutely share your contact information or your page, how they can get in touch with you if they're interested in having further meetings with you. So thanks again.
Thanks for your time.
Really appreciate it. All right. Till next time.
All right. Take care.
Bye, everybody. Until next time.